Hi, aloha oi. Um, so let's talk about ego. Spirit wants me to just give a little quick message. We've all been taught that ego is like if you love yourself, then you're egotistical, and that is not actually true. It's when you start placing yourself above others. And how does that look? It looks like judgment. It looks like judging others for their actions based on what you think is right. That's your ego trying to hierarchical things, whatever, and place you somewhere in there. True self-love is actually very healthy, and it's knowing that you love yourself. Like, I love myself. I'm cute, I'm quirky, all this other stuff that I used to think was really bad. I've been able to sort of like alchemize that and realize that those are actually amazing things that make me uniquely equal. So that is the point, that we are all uniquely equal. So everyone is special in their own way. And I know we've all heard that, but it's true. If you think of all the stars up in the sky, are any of them ugly? No, they're all just like shining differently. Okay, so that's what we are. So every time you look at another human, that's like another star just shining differently. So who are you to say that your star is better than their star, or this star is better than that star? It's not balanced, and the ego comes from an unbalanced place. And I've been there, so I've done all this stuff. There have been times where I thought I was better than people. There's times I thought I was smarter than people. There's times I thought I was better than people. There's times where you know what I mean, like all of that. There's times when I thought I was worse than people. Okay, like I'm chubby right now and I'm like, oh, I'm so fat, nobody would ever like me. Dude, that's such my ego trying to like keep me in that fear stagnant zone. And no, you know, that's the trick of it. So essentially, once you love yourself truly and fully, and you become whole and filled with the Holy Spirit, which is your whole balanced self embodied in your vessel, then you're able to take that and go out into the world, and your cup is overflowing, so you share that frequency with others. And yeah, so that's it. Ego is just the unbalanced, being. And then so then you have, yeah, I spilled coffee on myself, whatever. Why am I even telling you that? That's my ego being like, oh, they're going to judge me. Okay, no. And even if you did, that's your judgment. And I'm judging myself, whatever. I didn't wash my sweatshirt, okay? Blah. I'm not exactly like the most like, why am I going into that? Whatever. Listen. It's like, shut up. Okay. Having a balanced ego is just owning all your shit. You own it. Okay, I own the fact that, this, and then you can work on it. Okay, but I'm not going to compare myself to others, because that is just that's like the mindset of judgment, and judgment it stems from the accuser, because only when you're judging are you accusing others. Like, I'm accusing you of this, so I'm judging you, I'm accusing you. And what's Hasatan? It's the judger. I mean, it's the accuser. So God is like the balanced alchemist that can like look out and see everything as another reflection of self to learn and grow from. And it's not a solipsistic place where you're like, well, everyone is me, so no, this is like, we all came from the same node. We all came from the same pure source, and then we're individuated into nodes, and then we go through these programs to learn and grow. Okay. And it just so happens this one's a hierarchical program. That's why you see pyramids all around. Okay. So you're learning to basically balance the pyramids. You have narcissists and you have empaths. Okay. So a narcissist looks at other beings as something to purely transact with, as something to use for something to gain. They don't even care what happens to them, right? So that's like they're putting themselves up on like such a high pedestal that they literally don't give a crap who they step on. Okay. Then conversely, you have the empaths who love to be in like that victim mindset, if you will, where you're like, that's all I'm gonna say. You can go into that. You know what that means. But also it's judgment, because you're still thinking that your way is better than another's. As long as you're not actively hurting another person, you're fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, true sin, if you will, is intentionally wanting to hurt another and then acting upon that. Okay? When you're unaware of certain things and you do things, that is trial and error. Okay? So when you F up, say like, I cheated on my husband, which I did. Okay? Back in the day. And he cheated on me. Whatever the fuck. Okay? I'm saying that's a sin. Okay? Yeah. And the thing is you need to fucking learn from that shit. So if you don't learn from that and you just think like, oh, that wasn't, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know, like I looked back on that relationship and I'm like, in the beginning it was like, oh, it was all his fault, he deserved it, and then as you go through, you know, you start to see your own self reflected and you're like, wait a minute, actually I was like not mentally stable, I was like 18 when we got married, all this other stuff, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like not facing your true shadow, if you will, right? Which is like the murkiness that you're wading through to sort of like grow who you are. So essentially, the Holy Spirit is you. It's your whole self embodied. Okay? And ego is acting from that unbalanced spot. And the only way to really get there is through self-reflection, compassion for self, forgiveness of self, which is ultimately forgiveness of other, loving self, which is ultimately loving other, and then the Holy Spirit fills your cup and you're able to love yourself and be so gratitude. You have gratitude and you've learned so much that then your cup overflows that you can then share it with others. And that is the message. I love you. I hope this resonated. Yeah. And, you know, so we just sort of, it's the idea of like reevaluating these terms that we're all sort of like throwing around and sort of like really getting down to the nitty gritty of what they mean and how we can use them to sort of like grow our collective consciousness. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. I love you. Bye. Cheers. And also, I wanted to show you, I'm on my trampoline in my little like meditation nest. Yeah, I make a meditation nest and then I meditate and then I talk to the gods, which are like the balanced beings. Okay, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I love you and I hope you have a good day, and I hope I see you in spirit, in the collective spirit, when you meditate and go into the one we all are, which is the heart center. Okay, I love you. Mwah.